Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Angelic Astrologer and Spiritual Consultant with AngelMessenger.net, here to do your weekly angel card reading for Monday, May 12th through Sunday, May 18th, 2014. So we had a little bit of a technical difficulty here, or at least I did, and I am redoing the video. For some reason it stopped kind of right in the middle of what I was doing. So you can see here that I have cards that are already drawn that we're going to use. They were definitely divinely chosen and randomly picked. And this week, before we actually look at the cards, I want to give you a little bit of what the astrological background for this week is all about. Now, on Monday, Mercury, the planet of communication, is in a very harmonious aspect with Mars in Libra. And I guess I have to start with the fact Mars in Libra, and it has been in Libra for quite some time, remember. And Mars is our energy, our action, our forward momentum, our passion, and Libra is the sign of relationships, partnerships, love, balance, equality. And it is coming down to a stationary point, which means it's getting ready to turn to direct motion. And it's not going to actually do that until Monday the 19th of May, so that will be the beginning of our next week's weekly reading. But it is slowing down, and as it's slowing down, it's bringing kind of relationship things to a head. All those relationship, partnership issues, not just romantic, but friendships and business partnerships and family relationships, all these things that were out of balance or that needed to be attended to, communication needed to be better, or things needed to be balanced in some way or redirected in some way. All of these things, as Mars is slowing down, which is called stationary, it's in a stationary position, which means it's just kind of stationed at 9 degrees Libra right now and getting ready to turn direct. But because it's just sitting there, it's almost like things aren't really moving forward. Now, this can be your project, your career, and other matters in life too. It just doesn't seem like things are moving, you know. It feels like we're stuck or we're suspended in mid-air. And we're going to start to see things to move forward as of next week when Mars goes direct. But anyway, back to Mercury in a harmonious aspect to Mars. This is a great day for communication. So if there is something that you need to communicate with someone about, if you need to talk about your feelings or talk about the relationship or, you know, talk about your desires within the relationship, Monday is a great day to do that. As we move into Wednesday, the 14th, we have a full moon in Scorpio that's brewing. And before that full moon in Scorpio, there's a couple of aspects that happen. One is that the moon in Scorpio, of course, is going to be coming together with Saturn. And Saturn right now is in Scorpio and has been in Scorpio for a while. So we're dealing with karmic lessons regarding our sense of personal power. You know, we're dealing with the fact that we have a lot of spiritual power within us, but we need to kind of bring it out into the open and display it in a very appropriate and balanced way. So the moon comes up, which is about our feelings, and connects with Saturn, and sometimes that can be a little intense with Saturn and Scorpio, but it can also kind of make us feel a little bit down or a little bit even depressed at times, because it's bringing those deep emotions and deep desires and deep feelings kind of up to the surface. The other thing that's going on is that Venus, which is the planet of relationships and partnerships, is in a challenging aspect to Pluto, which is about change and transformation. So again, I feel like there's things happening this week in regards to relationship matters, you know, needing to bring things back into a sense of balance here. And with Venus being the divine feminine principle, but she's in Aries, which is a very strong, courageous, sign that really kind of takes charge of the situation. I feel like the divine feminine in all of you, and men have divine feminine too, but I really feel like women right now are coming into their own. They're coming into their power. They're coming into their strength. They're exhibiting courage and independence with Venus in Aries. And, again, with this in a challenging aspect to Pluto, there's going to be a lot of change and transformation that takes place. And all of this builds up to that full moon in Scorpio. As we move into Thursday, Venus in Aries is coming into a conjunction with Uranus in Aries. And Uranus likes to break loose and break free of any constrictions or limitations. Uranus likes to be unconventional, and Uranus definitely is all about freedom. So, I want to say that there's going to be situations in relationship to where especially women, that divine feminine energy within women wants to break free and break loose. And this can, happen in a couple different ways. You might feel like you need to separate from the relationship or break free of the relationship if it's not equal, if it's not balanced, if it's not serving your best and highest interest, if it's not in alignment with who you are and where you're going in life. That is one possibility. The other possibility is that, things within the relationship just needs to change. There needs to be a redirection of the roles in the relationship or the energies in the relationship to where things are more balanced or are more equal, or, again, women, using their divine feminine power, their courage, their leadership ability, kind of take charge to kind of, again, balance things out or bring balance to the situation. So in some way, there, again, is change, transformation, and redirections that are taking place in relationship matters. And then on Sunday the 18th, Venus, again, is squaring Jupiter, or in a challenging aspect to Jupiter. And Jupiter is about expansion and growth. It's about our belief systems. It's about learning something new. And just because we're dealing with a couple of challenging aspects here this week, it doesn't mean that it's all negative or all bad, because these challenging aspects help to push us towards growth. It pushes us towards the evolution of our soul and where we need to go, who we need to be, how we need to display ourselves, out into the world. So I really think this is going to be a productive week, and especially, again, with a lot of changes coming in relationship matters and a lot of deep understandings and deep perceptions as well about ourselves and about our lives that comes from that full moon in Scorpio. So that is a little bit about what's going on this week. We are going to use actually a new deck as far as your special message card. I went to a metaphysical store a couple days ago. I got some new stones, which I'm going to show you here because it's what you get to choose for your special message card. And I also bought a couple of new decks, and what we're going to use today for our special message card is called the Goddess Guidance Oracle by Doreen Virtue. Now, to get that special message card, you have 3 stones of choice here to choose from. The first one is a star ruby, and it's kind of like a reflective kind of energy within that star ruby. It's very pretty. Your second stone of choice is a blue calcite. This can be really good for communication issues because it would relate to the throat chakra. And then your last stone of choice is lepidolite, which I think I've had lepidolite before, but this is a much larger piece of lepidolite that I was very much drawn to. And this is kind of a purple, almost like a burgundy purple sort of stone. So again, your stones of choice: star ruby, blue calcite, or lepidolite. And as I said, I've already chosen the cards from the Angel Tarot deck for everyone's message. And let's start by looking at what the first card is. The first card is the 5 of Air. And the message at the bottom says, an unwise choice, learn what you can from the situation, and review everyone's motives. Now, with this, the air suit is about communication, and the 5, to me, is about many things going on at once. And so what the angels have told me is that here we're dealing with a dual message. We're dealing, one, with your own, the energy within your own mind. In other words, there's a lot of things going on in your head. There's a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas. You're going back and forth. You can't come to a conclusion or a decision, and it's kind of scattered energy. It's kind of like a lot of scattered energy within the head. And the other message that the angels gave me with this card is that this may definitely deal with some disagreements with other people. So whether those disagreements are being communicated or whether they're just kind of hanging there in the air, needing to be communicated, it can go either way. But there's definitely a lot of unsettled mental energies going on. But let's get more information by looking at the second card. And the second card, this is also another air card, so the theme of communication is very strong. This is the Knight of Air. And the message says intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless. The message at the bottom says events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options and creative solutions. Now, again, a dual message, because the Knight card is a court card, which can mean other people in our lives, or it can mean qualities within ourselves. So again, when we're dealing with the energy within ourselves, we're still dealing with the mind energy, our thoughts, how we communicate to ourselves about those thoughts. And to me, this is saying to be, a bit more objective, be more logical and intelligent about what you're thinking about, and be decisive. This is saying come to a decision. This previous card here, the 5 of Air, having all that unstable, kind of confusing energy, this is saying you have to come to some sort of logical decision. You need to decide what you want to do, how you want to proceed, where you want to go next, what you want to communicate. And, part of this is that once you make that decision, that events are going to happen quickly, that you will move forward in a more, I don't know what I want to say, more expedient way, if that's the right way to say it, towards the next step you have to take. But let's look at the final card to kind of round out the information of what the message from Spirit is. Okay, this is another air card. So the message about communication and our thought processes are very strong for this week. This is the 2 of Air. And the 2 of Air says being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, and pretending there is no problem. So again, kind of a dual message, because this is energy within your own mind that you're stuck. You're stuck and you don't know what decision to make. The previous card is saying you need to make a decision, and here it's saying, you can see the logic of both choices, or, you might be dealing with your head versus your heart, or logic versus your emotions. You see 2 unicorns here that are kind of locking horns, and so you're just kind of at a stalemate, just like the card says. Now, the other message that Spirit is giving me with this card is that we're dealing with 2 unicorns, 2 people needing to communicate with the significant other, whether it's, again, a romantic partnership, a business partnership, a family or a friendship relationship, that there needs to be some one-on-one communication here. You need to air out your differences. You need to air out, your feelings or your thoughts, and talk to the other person. Sometimes we think the other person should know exactly what we're feeling or what's going on in our own heads, but the truth of the matter is that not everybody is a mind reader. Some of us have that telepathic communication, but sometimes, especially in romantic types of situations, you do need to speak your truth, and that other person may not have any idea, what's going on in your head. So those are some of the messages. I definitely feel like this is a week that deals with relationship matters. And again, because Mars is not going to go direct until next week, I feel strongly the message of this card about kind of being unable to make a decision or not knowing which way to go or being at a stalemate. Um, that might extend a little bit into next week even. You might not see any movement, or you might not actually make the decision until Mars goes direct next Monday the 19th. So, don't be hard on yourselves, and be patient with yourselves, but definitely try to center yourselves and figure out, what you need to do as far as making a decision for yourself and your life and your path. Now let's see what your extra special message card is depending on your stone of choice. So here's our new deck, the Goddess deck. And I have cleansed these cards, smudged these cards, blessed these cards, infused these cards with magical energy. I meditated with the deck. And so now we're just going to give them a little shuffle. And of course actually I did in the last video and forgot to do it for this video, but we called in all of our angels, guides, master guides, and teachers of the light, the ascended masters, the goddesses, and asking for whatever divine message is in everyone's highest and best interest according to their stone of choice. So for those of you that chose the star ruby, the star ruby is Cordelia, and she says to go outside. She says, you have been indoors too long, go outside and get some fresh air. Now, that might seem like a silly message that doesn't have much meaning considering what we're talking about, but really, when we're not centered, when we have too many thoughts in our heads, when we, are unbalanced, the best thing to do is to go out into nature. Go out and stand barefoot on the earth, go and hug a tree, go take a walk in the woods. Nature can really calm us and center us. It can give us clarity when we're out there. When we're out in nature, we actually hear spirit. We hear our angels and guides more clearly because we're, getting away from the distractions of life. Best if you can get outside in nature with no people around, because definitely you're releasing the distractions of life that way. And you're definitely much more able to listen to the guidance that the goddesses have, your angels and your guides have for you. So that is your message for the week. And then for those of you that chose the blue calcite, the blue calcite is, this is interesting. This is, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Isolt. Isolt. And this message is undying love. And it says, the love you have shared is eternal regardless of the situation. So this is just a message for you to know that no matter what happens in our lives with all the relationships with family, friends, significant others in our lives, that when we're connected with somebody, our souls are connected. Even if our personalities, or even if we decide in this life that we need to go our separate ways, this message is saying that our souls are always connected, that there's an undying, unconditional love, bond, and connection that our souls have with one another, because we're all part of the same source, we're all part of the same energy, and some of you are part of the same soul group even. So this is just letting you know that that energy is eternal, that energy is never going to go away or never stop. And of course, the other message, or the other way to take this message is that if you're dealing with a relationship matter, to know that this is a very important bond that you're sharing with this person. Now again, sometimes we need to learn other lessons with other people in life. So I think we would definitely need more information beyond this when it comes to relationship matters. But at the very least, this is saying that the relationship that you're dealing with, that you have a very strong connection with, that is going to last, eternally, beyond the physical, basically. Okay, and then for those of you that chose, I had to see what the last stone was there, Lepidolite. Looks like this card on the bottom here wants to come out. Interesting. So the Lepidolite message is Guinevere, which says true love. And it says, the romantic stirrings in your heart have propelled the universe to deliver great love to you. So again, this can be taken two ways. This can either reflect that the relationship that you may currently be in is a true love for you, that it's even, I feel like there's a past life connection. I feel with Guinevere that there's a past life connection with this. And also, if you're not in a relationship, with the message, how the message reads at the bottom, is that great love is going to come to you. Again, I'll read that. The romantic stirrings in your heart have propelled the universe to deliver great love to you. So this is talking about bringing a great love to you. And perhaps you're in a relationship to where, there just seems to be something missing, or something isn't balanced, or something isn't right. And so the message here is saying that love that you're seeking, that connection that you're seeking is going to come to you, that it's on its way, and the goddess energy, along with your angels and guides, are bringing that to you. The universe is bringing that to you in divine timing. So I hope you liked this weekly angel card reading. I hope you liked the new goddess deck. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching and sharing my videos. I thank you for all of the wonderful messages of support and kindness that you send my way. If I can help you in a more personal way, I would love to do that. So please go on to angelmessenger.net and check out my personal page to read about what kind of readings or healings I do. We're actually going to have an angel hour on Angel Messenger, myself with Reverend Cherie and Roger, one of our mediums, as a consultant on Angel Messenger. The three of us are going to get together on the 13th of May and do a live hour show on guardian angels and on angels in general. So you might want to check that out. And until next time, I send you much love and light and many, many angel blessings.